It's done. All right.
So what do we do on this one again?
This is where I think we review chicken nuggets or
I think it
something.
was chicken nuggets, right?
I think yeah, we're the
Because I vividly remember the last time we got together, we were eating just piles and piles of chicken nuggets.
which is what we always do when we hang out. So
Yeah,
that's not weird. It wasn't like a special day or a celebration or anything.
it was just another day that ends in Y. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, we're just living every day like it's Friday, brother. I guess it was celebrating our friendship maybe.
Maybe. Well, I mean, we bonded over chicken nuggets, and that is the
Yeah.
reason that I was initially y'all let me into the band. You said, "Well, your playing is great and all, but this other guy likes chicken nuggets, and we're
Yeah.
gonna vibe with him." And I said, "Well, I like it more." And then we had to do a competition, and I had
Yeah,
to
we
eat.
said prove it.
We had to ski down a slope while eating chicken nuggets,
Mhm.
uh, and whoever won got their house replaced by a parking lot.
You have very vivid memories of this. Like this was all a blur to me because we've done this to so many people. Like
Well,
you're,
when it's such a
like
common
it's
occurrence to you,
yeah.
yeah.
Once you've done it, once you're in the double digits, it's like you don't really,
Well,
they all kind of blur.
we usually did like boxcar racing,
Yeah, I mean
where
that's
I'm from. So
to
it's
get into bands.
yeah. So it was a new experience, like skiing down a dirt slope. By the way, since we don't have any snow where we live in Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I remember just taking people to the hill behind the the Torchy's Tacos
Yeah.
and just making
No. Yeah.
people tumble down the hill in a abandoned car tire.
Well, here's the thing that people don't realize is tumbling down the hill is faster than properly like skiing or racing. That's the trick. That's
Yeah,
why I've had such high success rate getting into bands.
yeah. The guy that you went up against, like brought a sled, and you brought nothing,
And I just basically
and you just
jumped and belly
tumbled.
flopped.
Which, in terms of physics and real world, I don't know how it worked, but it worked.
I mean, we see the results, don't we?
Yeah,
So
you chipped your tooth.
yeah, a lot has changed since the
That's
last
how it
time we've
happened.
recorded. When was the last time we've recorded, Lucas?
Holy shit, dude!
Has
At
it
this
been
point, almost a month.
almost a month? And then before that, we had only like recorded one or two episodes, and then it's just been spotty for the last couple months, man, just due to all these various things.
Yeah, yeah. We've been spotting. It's been yeah, dude. It's been weird because it's been like every time I listen to the record that we're going to talk about today, it's just like, oh, I'm just so ready to record this episode. Like,
Yeah,
I just want to talk about this already. And it was like, it's weird, man, because like, I still like listen to music, just like hanging out and in my free time and all that stuff. And like,
yeah,
mostly like driving.
yeah,
But there's something about like listening to music with a purpose that I really enjoy. Like I loved all the daily reviews that I was doing last year because it was just like I had an excuse. Not it's not really an excuse, but it's kind of like there was more reason to listen to it than just to like have music on. Or
yeah.
like I like having like a
I mean,
project.
just the fact that it's like productive to a
Yeah.
means might kind of makes you feel better about doing it.
Yeah, like and it makes me listen in a different way too. That it's like
Yeah, right.
just yeah, just sitting down and listening to an album. Like, there's so many moments where I'll zone out, and it's just like this makes me like really pay attention and like and put my thought into like what am I getting from the music? Like, what am I hearing?
Yeah,
Because we're also like kind of describing this stuff like while we're talking about it, and I'm just like I want people to get like a good idea of what the album might sound like if they hadn't listened to it yet.
right. Yeah.
So it is kind of like it just I don't know. It's like can how can this be our jobs?
How
How do
can
we make this into
how
a
can we
profession?
make money off this?
Yeah, how do we
Is
make this
Lucas's
into a
first
profession?
question.
Yeah, can you guys just start sending us money?
Yeah, we're not going to set up a Patreon, but we will send y'all our like Cash Apps and Venmos.
Yeah, I'll send you my direct bank routing information
Oh, great.
if you're
Yeah, and
willing to send me $15 a month.
if you could also just like Lucas, if you could just send that to me as well as like your social security number.
You don't have that already?
No, well, no, I lost. You gave me your card and I lost it. I
Yeah.
forgot what the numbers were.
Yeah, I gave you like a carbon copy or whatever.
Yeah, and like sorry about that, but it is what it is.
It's fine. I'll send you another one.
All right, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Another copy. Have
Yeah.
you a little unrelated, but have you found? I found myself like in the last year, whenever we're not, whenever I'm listening to music that's not for an episode, I usually just like shuffle music and like playlists and
Yes.
stuff. I never really
Yes.
listen to just albums anymore.
Yeah, dude. Yes. Like that is a good point. I definitely do the same. I'm way more of a playlist guy than I
I
am
don't.
a full album guy. There's just very few like the full albums that I would listen to are ones that I've heard before, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
so at that point it's just like, well, I know my favorite ones from that record anyway, or I've heard that record so many times or whatever that it's yeah, dude, like definitely.
I
Definitely.
I was chalking it up to like a short attention span or something, but it's gone on so long that I don't know. I don't know. And like I'll listen to like new albums and stuff. Like the stuff that's like just coming out now, but even
Right, like the
then,
new King Gizzard. Like that was so
yeah,
good.
man, that was a great record.
That was so unexpected. Like the turn that they made on that album was so fucking cool, man. I really, really liked it. But same, like I haven't, that like it has to be like a big deal album to me for me to like really sit down and listen to it.
Yeah, I think like the latest albums I've listened to are that Gizzard album, Butterfly 3000.
So good.
The new Tyler the Creator album, which is actually pretty good.
Okay.
Um, and other stuff,
Yeah,
probably.
I've always been a playlist guy though. Like now that I think about it, like yeah, I'd listen to albums too, but like making playlists has always been fun ever since I've had like a ability to.
Yeah, I maybe like unless the album has something like if the album is made to just be a bunch of songs in one collective instead of like
Right.
one theme or a concept or like there needs to be a reason that the album is an album. Uh,
Yeah, which King Gizzard bringing them back up, they do a great job of doing that.
oh yeah, I mean they've always been about that for sure.
Yeah, they're really good at it. It's almost like bordering concept album or bordering like kind of I guess concept album is what you would refer to it as, but it's just like those are always so cheesy to me most of the time, and they go a little too like hard into it. Like it's like they don't allow themselves the freedom to kind of like go outside of that theme even for a little bit. So it almost gets like too on the nose and a little like cheesy.
Yeah,
But like King
yeah.
Gizzard, like with that Butterfly 3000, I would say that's kind of a concept record. Like
I mean
it's
I haven't looked at the lyrics or anything.
I haven't either. I don't really mean lyrically. I mean musically, like compositionally, like what they were trying to do on that album is a
Oh yeah, well
concept.
yeah, I mean that's what Gizzard does with every album. They
Yeah,
usually
that's
they
what I
they
mean.
get this feel, they get this vibe, and they just kind of play it through the whole thing. This was a lot like a couple of the tracks off LW.
Oh,
I
okay. I still
thought,
haven't heard that one.
yeah, man, it's kind of the precursor to this album, honestly.
Oh,
I mean, it
okay.
is literally the album before this one, but
Right.
also musically,
Which
it
also
has a
came
lot
out
of
like
the when he's up here and he's kind of doing this, you
it's
know.
almost yeah. I almost feel like they took their flying paper mache
Yeah,
machine.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I think they finally figured out how they wanted that album to sound.
Exactly. Like they went for a folk. This is an electronic folk record. Was Butterfly 3000.
Yeah.
Like they went like it was really cool. Like hearing that. It harkened back to that album, which I didn't really. That's like the one I like the least by them, to be honest. The
Yeah.
paper mache flying machine or whatever. Like
Uh-huh.
paper mache dream house. Is that what it's called?
Balloon. I think the balloon is in there.
Paper mache dream balloon. Yeah, that one was always like kind of cheesy, right? Like they went a little too hard into the gimmick of trying to bring back that like kind of goofy '60s folk music.
And it also helps modern Gizzard that they have so much influence from like foreign music,
Right.
and that melds perfectly into the folky electronic thing they're trying to do, and
Yeah,
they did successfully do.
man, that Shanghai song. How good is that,
Oh,
dude?
Shanghai,
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, just do that one again. Do it again.
yeah, Shanghai,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's my favorite part.
So what were your Narnugs on Butterfly 3000?
Oh man.
And what would you rate it? And
Yeah, that's what this
what would you rate
episode's
this
about, right?
episode?
Uh, this is a quick one. Um, dude, what was that? Inside People or something was a really good song.
I gotta look it up again.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Butterfly
But yeah,
3.
Shanghai was definitely
Shanghai was great.
one of my favorites.
Interior
Uh,
People.
Interior people.
That one stood out to me. I've only listened to it once, the whole album all the way through, but this one for some reason like was one that stuck with me. But Shanghai
Yours,
also. Shanghai was great.
Shanghai. Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm looking at all the songs like, ooh, I really like that one. Ooh, I really like that one.
Yeah,
So I don't
right.
know.
Yeah, yours was good. Dreams was good. Catching Smoke was like I love the lyrics on that one.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get to this album someday. But
I
I
was
think
thinking
we
about
do
it.
need to get back to the topic at hand, which, if you remember, is an album by Coastal Kites called "Journey into the Savalin Forest."
Yes. What's up, buddies? Welcome to another episode of Earbuds, where two good friends talk about one good album for a good amount of time,
And only one,
and only
and
one.
that's it.
Yes. We.
We don't veer off into other stuff we happen to be listening to.
I haven't heard any other music except the record that we're going to talk about today. I have nothing to compare it to.
We got nothing to, where did the influence come from? Where did,
Yeah. I have no historical musical landmarks to
yeah, it's just this one,
base my opinion on.
which is great because it really helps us focus in, really hone in on this album.
Yeah. And, some people call us.
Call you the space cowboy.
Yeah. But I'm just, my real name is, what's that guy's name? Steve something.
Uh, crap. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The Midnight Toker. Who's that guy?
It's not Steve Miller.
Steve Miller. That's who it is. My real name is Steve Miller.
Okay.
Yeah. Joke landed. Some people call us the pod couple of oddcasts, but I like to call us the odd couple of podcasts. Like I like to go normal.
I like to call us Maurice.
Yeah, some people call you also Steve Miller. That's also your real name.
Yes, it gets very confusing.
That's another way we became friends. The chicken nugget thing and the Steve Miller thing.
Yeah.
Also, to bring back the chicken nugget thing. That's where we got the choice nugs name.
Yeah, a lot of people think that the aesthetic of this podcast has to do with weed, but it's more chicken nugget focused.
Yeah, if it had to do with weed, it would be more like your influence. Like
Yeah.
that would be all you, and I can't let it all be you. Like I have to bring in my.
No, I would smoke you out, as they say in my circles.
Yeah, I'd be catching smoke.
You're full of hot air, is what I would say.
I'm a paper mache dream balloon.
Yeah.
But we are your hosts. Me first.
Mm-hmm.
Gimme, my name.
Oh,
Lucas
Lucas
Steve Miller
Abba.
and Brett Abba BG hand.
Joke landed.
What's up, Brett? Joke landed.
I think we just need to have like a buzzer, set up a button where we just joke landed.
Joke landed. Yeah. Whatever could be a good landing sound. Dude, we've been talking about this for a while now, and I don't know when we're going to do it. When are we going to do sound effects on our podcast? Because I'm ready to become a morning radio show.
I mean, hey man, you could do that all you want. when you've been editing the episodes for like the last 2 months.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I
But
remember.
I suspect when I get this new computer, it'll be built in with a sound effects board
A nice soundboard.
that we
Yeah.
could just bring out at any time.
We can go as BJ and the Bear.
BJ and the Bear live in the morning.
Detroit, Monday mornings.
Right now, we got for you a new band called Steve Miller and His Boys, and that's a new band we're trying to start.
Yeah, me and your Steve Miller cover band.
Well, it's me, you, and Steve Miller.
Oh, you got a hold of him?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're all in the same Facebook group. People named Steve Miller from birth.
Right. Have you ever done that? Have you ever looked up like other people named Brett Hanrahan?
Yes.
Are there other Brett Hanrahans?
No one of note.
Well, no, yeah.
Well, I think there is like a baseball player named Brett Hanrahan.
Oh, really?
I think I was named after a baseball player.
For real?
Yes, but I can't be certain.
I can't tell if you're kidding.
Yeah, that would be an absolutely insane thing to lie about. Is being named after a baseball player.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I can't see your face right now, so I can't tell if you're being the tone of your voice is pretty much always sarcastic.
Yeah.
So I can't tell when you're being serious or not.
It's so dry.
I need to see your eyes.
Not a lot of people can see into me like you, Lucas. So
I can see into your dirty little nugget soul. Your little trash chicken nugget soul.
My little chicken nugget filled veins.
Yeah.
My little chicken nugget filled heart and soul.
You got fucking sweet and sour sauce coursing through your veins.
So of course we're going to be going through a short tier list of chicken nuggets right after we talk about this album.
Do you like the boot? Do you like the oval one? Do you like the weird dog bone shaped one?
Do you like the dinosaur one? Are you into a shark type of thing?
Oh man, you're talking about those TV dinner chicken nuggies now.
Yeah. Well,
with the penguin on the label.
I want to go from everything to from restaurant high class restaurants like TGI Fridays and Chili's to more local venues like McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah, sorry, I stopped listening because my dog almost walked out the door, but I'm back in.
But yes, the dinosaur nuggets taste the best, and that's an S tier, and that's that.
Those always looked like they were like kind of like juicy, like not juicy, but like soft. Like I like crunchy nuggies.
You like crunchy nugs.
I like to crunch on a nug every now and then. You know, like it's
you like a crunchy outside and a nice moist inside.
A nice moist
interior.
Yes, yeah, that's my choice nug.
Of chicken nuggets. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
So what? I think you mentioned it already, but what album were we talking about today? Was it Journey into the Savalin Forest by Coastal Kites?
No, it's the band Journey.
We're the Journey into the.
It's greatest hits by Journey, is what we're doing.
That I didn't get I missed that text. Can we pause for like?
No, we don't have time. We gotta just wing it.
Hey, I'll just shoot from the cuff. You know what I mean? I just made up that term.
Shoot from the cuff. I like it.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you like a little Western, like kind of shooting from the hip type of thing.
That's I shoot from the cuff though. I have like the cuff of my pants.
Yeah.
That's where I keep.
Oh wow, that's pretty low, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I shoot. I still have the gun like at my waist level, but I always have to kick up my foot and shoot down the leg of my pants.
You shoot down the leg and it rides, and it's kind of like a slide from your foot, and it goes towards the person you're shooting at.
Yeah, I like direct it with my pants. Like the slack in my pants kind of guides the bullet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, see, like, you get me, man.
There are only 3 people in the world who can do that. I didn't know you were one of them. I'm actually another.
See, I knew that, so I don't know how you didn't know that I
I've just been out of the circles. I've been focusing on me, you know.
Yeah, that's why I've been editing the last 2 months of episodes.
Well, like, look, I've
Because
just been
yeah,
finding
I
myself.
always ask, oh man, are you editing this one? And you're like, I'm still focusing on me. You know,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
still trying to find myself.
yeah, I was hoping to not do that. Just
You
like,
see,
okay.
I'm trying today. I'm asking myself the question, why? You know, and so that's
hmm
gonna take. That's a pretty deep one. So it's gonna take all day. So I really won't have time.
Dude, that's like literally how bored people were in like the 15th, 16th, 17th centuries, where like they would literally philosophers just sat down and they would go,
I mean,
why?
yeah, you could just be a philosopher as a living.
Yeah, somehow, yeah. Were these people just broke? Like, how did they make money
I do wonder because like
philosophizing?
surely they must have been doing other stuff. Surely they still like worked drive through at McDonald's, but they were
Yeah,
also like on the side just philosophizing things, and they didn't get money from it, but they got uh you know fame.
they got free nuggies.
They got free nuggies.
Maybe that's how they ate.
That's well, infamously they solely ate nuggies. Uh, and
Famously,
that yeah,
right?
joke landed.
As a well, maybe it's time to get into the album now. You know, like
Ugh, I wish we wouldn't.
dude, that's now you're taking my lines because that's what I say every time you're like, ugh. So we've been blabbering for too long. Let's get into the record. I'm just like, if you want, like, goddamn, like that's not why I'm here. I'm here to just talk to my friend and have fake
Uh,
conversations for
I
an
mean,
hour and
I've
a
always
half.
just been here for business.
Yeah,
I
I've
consider you
noticed.
more of a more of a like an associate of mine. You know?
Yeah, you're like you're turning into Joe Budden at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who he is, but whoever knows Joe
Uh,
Budden and his whole situation, that's gonna be hilarious to them. That I just called you Joe Budden.
would you consider that joke landed, or is it still in the air? Are you still going with it?
I'm still going with it because I was gonna add that you probably want to call this podcast the Brett Hanrahan podcast and totally fucking push me to the side and forget your friends that helped you come up in the podcast world, and then you're just gonna sign a fucking $100 million deal with Spotify and not give me any of the money,
Oh God, I've been
and
trying.
you're gonna yeah, and then
Lord knows I've been trying.
you're gonna put up my episodes on Spotify that I was on, and I get no money for it, but you're getting all the money, and I'm get like that. I feel like now the joke's landed.
Joke landed.
Joke landed.
Boom. All right. Well, here's the thing. I'm in my friend has an art studio in their closet, and that's what I'm recording in. And I
Nice.
can't turn the fan on. So I'm slowly but surely dying in here.
Yeah, it's what is it like 105 there today?
It feels well, it feels more suffocating than hot. Like there's not
So
enough air in here.
okay,
So I feel like I probably got a good 45 minutes left before I just pass out.
if we caught that like on tape, that'd be
I mean,
worth
what
it.
that'd be some good content, wouldn't it?
That'd
The
be.
sound of someone passing out and like crashing on the floor.
I mean, just going, Brett, Brett.
It's like, hey, should I do? I guess I'll go on with my thing, and then you
Yeah,
just kind of talk by yourself for half an hour.
I'd be like, can you press stop? Can you wake up just for a second? Press stop. Is it a? I mean, I guess it's at least it's not hot. It's suffocating, but at least it's not hot.
No, yeah, it's really not too hot. I took my pants off. I'm trying to figure out
Me too,
how to
man.
get my shirt off when I have two pairs. I have a pair of headphones and earphones
I
plugged in.
love, I love that. I love your setup that you have your Apple earbuds in, and then you have headphones over that.
Well, especially today, I can't be doing too much stuff on this computer at one time.
That's so fucking funny, dude. It's such a weird fix to your problem. Like that'll be something you don't have to deal with. I bet when you get a new computer.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I was doing when we first started recording. And then I got worried because all the crap started happening and time drift and audio drift and all that stuff, and I was like, maybe I'll just do it on my phone in any case.
Yeah, that's so funny though. God damn, it's just so funny to see you wearing two pairs of headphones at the same time. It's
Well,
like
I'm listening to a podcast in the other headphones.
that's where you're getting all your joke ideas.
Yeah, I'm just basically copying what the people are saying, and it usually fits in. Has it been
That's
like, what do you think? Has it been fitting in now? Have we kind of kept a cohesive conversation?
I mean, I it's no different for me than any other episode. I'm carrying this entire fucking thing, so
And honestly, yeah, like I don't know how jet fuel could melt steel beams.
mm,
On the topic of that you were saying on 9/11.
yeah. No, I'm glad you bring that up
Yeah.
because the album that we're talking about today has a lot to do with that.
With 9/11?
Hmm.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well, that's a unique interpretation of it. I think it is a
I
instrumental
mean,
album.
we'll unpack it. It'll make a little more sense as we go.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to you explaining that to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we can. I can start now. So the album that we're talking about today, "Journey into the Savalin Forest" by Coastal Kites. I don't know how I heard about these guys. Like, they must have come up on my like Spotify recommended based on the goofy, weird shit I was listening to last year, and it. I think you remember like when I suggested this album the first time. This was like one of the ones I gave like over a 9 last year.
Yes, you were very, very selective with what albums you gave a score of 9 or over because apparently you felt like you had enough respect to do that.
I have enough self respect at least. Not, you know,
Oof.
that's all I'm really worried about.
You should probably get rid. You should probably not get rid of that.
Yeah. Well, if I got rid of that, I'd be wearing two headphones at once. So
Well, you did for an entire year. Uh, you did 365 albums, right?
yeah, I did one album
In that
review a
year,
day.
and so with that amount of albums, I think you had about 12 or 13 albums that got a 9 or over,
That sounds about right. Yeah.
which is crazy. But listening to
Yeah.
new albums is usually miss rather than hit,
Right. For
honestly.
sure. Oh, dude, you remember stretches of like a week or two where every album I hated.
Well, it was whenever you went into like the lists of like best albums of the decade or
Right.
best albums of all time in the Rolling Stone. That's when it got into like the ugh.
Yeah. The start of the journey was really rough. Like
It was a
going off
dredge.
of like Pitchfork and Stereo Gum and a few other of those like kind of more indie. I guess they used to be indie, but like their best of 2019, best of 2018 lists. Oh man, I mean that was like they were batting like a fucking 100 at that point. Like it was like which batting 1,000 is what you want. So I was saying like 1 out of 10 albums or 2 out of 10 albums I listened to like was good or
And
I enjoyed.
I don't know what that says about us cuz I feel like we usually feel the same way about
Yeah,
those lists
yeah.
and that I also download a bunch of albums of like, best albums of the decade from various sources, Fantano and Pitchfork and, whatever. And like just none of them,
Mm-hmm.
like little to none were anything that I'd ever like want to listen to again. And I don't know if that's just cuz maybe we aren't as proficient in music listening as the other
See,
folk.
I don't think so. I think me and you have more of a like we don't like really commercialized music, but we also have like we lean more towards like catchy stuff and things that like uh, I watched a few of Fantano's videos in 2020 because I was trying to be like how does this guy review music because I was having a lot of fun like writing those daily reviews
Yeah.
but I was like at times like running out of words like I feel like I was using the same words a lot in all the
Right.
reviews
Yeah.
because I'm just like how does this guy describe music and I would listen to him describe it and he does have a really good way of of like describing the sounds that you're going to hear on the record,
Yeah,
but
I've always
he's
thought, regardless of what you think of Fantano, like he's very good at describing what he's hearing, and he actually usually sells it pretty well to make you want to listen to it.
definitely for sure. And but one thing, the only videos that I really watched of his were I saw that he had reviewed. I mean, this was probably like 6 months into, like halfway through 2020, that he had reviewed a few of the records that I had listened to just randomly. And I was like, so I checked those episodes to be like, I wonder if he agrees with me. And pretty much every single time we disagreed on whether I thought it was good or bad, and he thought it was good or bad.
Right. Yes.
Every time.
I've
And
run into
so,
that same exact problem.
yeah. So I definitely think that there's something there where, like, and it was the same with all of the Pitchfork, best of 2019. Like, 100 Gex was on there, and 100 Gex is one of the
Yeah.
worst,
Yeah.
some of the worst music I've ever heard. And there's definitely something there where, like, we do not agree with the critics. And I don't know why, but it's too much of a pattern now at this point to be a coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if your livelihood is music, they probably gravitate more towards things that are so
The
far
weirder
outside of the
stuff.
box, like 100
Yeah.
Gex.
Yeah.
And
You're probably right, because they
just
hear
the
the same
fact that
shit
it's
all the time.
yeah, just the fact that it's new and fresh and original makes up for the fact that it's horrible music.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's interesting because that whole, like, whatever you call 100 Gex, is that like hyper pop or something?
Uh, I wouldn't call them that, but I think that's what people have kind of attached to them.
Right, which is a really crazy new genre. Definitely one I haven't found my footing in at all.
I
But
I don't think I hate it, but you very specifically have to find like the right artists in the genre, I think,
yeah, I'm sure
because it
there are
can
different
easily get very
vibes.
annoying.
Yeah, man, the auto tune ness of it definitely kind of gets to me. But and how manic it is, just so fast. But it's interesting because, like, you would hear that music and be like, "Oh my god, fucking critics are gonna hate this," and then it's weirdly kind of critics like it a lot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
something that you wouldn't expect, and I think you're right. I think it's like they're just so used to hearing the same stuff that sounds the same every single day that they hear that, and it's just challenging enough or just fucking weird enough that they find it refreshing.
yeah. And I that's my first theory on why people listen to noise music and like other like stuff like swans and juju. Did you get that photo I
I
sent you?
love Juju. Yeah, dude, I'm fucking trying not to laugh. This photo's hilarious.
I just sent Lucas a photo of my setup over here. I've
Sh- Shirtless in a closet.
pantless.
Yeah, pantless with a tiny microphone that looks like it's way too low.
Yep.
Oh my god, dude. Why even have the lamp on? Just turn the lamp off. Vibe out.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they got a couple string lights in here, which is a pretty good vibe. But yeah, man, I like bands like Swans. Uh, like it was one of the few albums Fantano rated a 10 out of 10. Is To Be Kind by Swans, and I listened to it, and it's just like an hour and a half, or like 2 hours of
Just swans
j-
fucking
just like slosh, and just like
uh
and just like I don't know, man. I wish I got it. I wish I liked it because it'd be another genre of music I could listen to, but I don't.
right.
I
Yeah.
just I just can't. Which is the antithesis of this album.
Yeah, man. It kind of it did bring it back, like all of this what we're talking about brings it back to this record because like this one stood out so much to me when I listened to it last year because of how different it is from everything else I was listening to.
Yeah, and it's very tight. I'd say it's tight, but
Yeah.
it also has a very human feel about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not like computer music at all, but it is very like there's a lot of electro, a lot of synth.
yeah, and there's
Um
like there's one song where the guitarist is doing some kind of melody, and it almost seems like he kind of misses the notes sometimes, and he kind of grinds against the strings, and he plucks the notes at different volumes.
I
Uh,
wonder. I wonder if you're thinking about the same one I did, where it kind of sounded like he was trying to do like a microtonal thing,
yeah, it's
but he didn't have the microtonal guitars to be able to do it. So he was kind of. I think it was Cold Bullets. Is that what you're talking about?
I think I'm talking about Savalin Samurai,
Oh, okay.
where he's like,
Because uh, yeah, I love that one so much, dude.
yeah,
Uh,
and it
yeah, no, I can. I definitely heard that at times too, man. It is like a really tight record, but they're still like they're psych, so they kind of they're a little. It's still airy, even though it's tight. If that makes
yeah
any sense. Like this is, I mean, this record, like I think one of the first things we need to say is like what kind of genre this is, and
hmm.
it's like I guess you'd call it world music, like kind of like rock world music, because it's like there's reggae in there, there's Afrobeat, there's like
Well,
electro, there's like salsa, samba, Middle Eastern stuff,
yeah,
like
it's
vaporwave.
very traveled music.
It goes all over the place. There's like Asian influence stuff, like on Savalin Samurai, like that has like a distinctly Asian kind of melody, but it's on during a reggae song.
Yeah,
Really fucking cool. And but it all kind of like it all falls under like psychedelic, right? Like it's all psychedelic music, but it just goes all over the place.
yeah, it's an odd coupling of genres throughout the entire album, and the cover of the album shows a skull, an eagle, I believe, and the state of California,
Yeah,
which
with
I
like a lightning bolt.
like it's weird to think about America while listening to an album like this.
Yeah, their imagery is really like almost like neon Native American imagery. It's
Yeah.
really fucking cool the art that they use on like their little on their singles and on this album and everything. Like that was another you look at you look at that album cover and it does give you an aesthetic that I feel like the music it matches the music so perfectly because there is
Yeah.
something very like California beachy about the whole thing, but also it's like these dudes that grew up in freaking Huntington Beach or whatever, but they also like travel to Morocco every summer.
Right. Yeah.
It's and I don't know if you knew this, but this is just three guys. This band, and that's insane to me.
Yeah, I it's there's not a lot of stuff about these guys out there. Not a lot of info, no live videos that I was able to find.
There's almost no information about
I
these guys.
know a fun I found out that the like producer and keyboardist for this band, I believe his last name is Kite.
Okay.
And so I guess that's why they called it Coastal Kites, and it's a three piece. It's like a producer, keyboardist, a guitarist, and I think a bassist, if
Oh,
I'm not
so
mistaken.
who's playing the drums?
It might just be some. It might be the producer.
Man,
He
because
might
it
just
definitely sounds like there's like acoustic drums.
yeah, especially in like you don't like the first song. The drums are very quiet, and that's
Almost like
not.
Krungbin, you
It's
know?
not something you really can replicate well in MIDI. So I wonder if they just got a studio musician in.
It definitely sounds like most songs have a live drum set playing, but there's also a lot of like electro drums and but then there's some songs that have like all the auxiliary stuff like timbales and cowbells
Right.
and
Yeah. They. I
yeah.
mean, they probably just pick and choose. Like for this song, we're gonna have a studio drummer play this part. And for this song, we're gonna have like electronic drums going the whole time. We're just gonna program them, something like that.
Yeah, for all I know these are all programmed drums. Like if there's no actual drummer, they sound legit. Like this it sounds like a real drum kit. And they're mic'd and mixed and recorded kind of like Krungbin, like those drums. Like they're very understated, like you said, like they're quiet.
Yeah.
But man, that first song, that Savalin Forest, that's such a great opener to the record. It's like it basically combines everything that they're gonna do.
Yeah, it kind
in
of
the individual songs afterwards.
gives you a scope of what this album is going to kind of be.
Yeah, it has like a very Afrobeat kind of like nonstop. You know, it's a drums playing the same thing the entire song, and it's pretty fast paced, and it just has like great like kind of funky guitar going. It's really it does set you up, right? Like it's really
Yeah,
unique.
and
It's a
it has that. The bass is always pushed pretty far forward in the mix for good reason.
very good reason. Great bassist.
I think the way I picked my favorite songs on this album is from the bassist, honestly.
Damn, mine's mostly for the synth.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's the synth and the guitar. That's kind of like what got me to pick my choice nugs, and it was hard to pick my choice nugs. Just gonna put that out there too.
I mean, the 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 bassist on this whole album is very choice.
So good.
It sounds very clean, very smooth, very bouncy,
And
I'd
he's
say.
playing. He can play fast, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, this guy's good.
Yeah,
Whoever he is.
yeah, for sure. Well, apparently these dudes are all in the Voids, a band called the Voids with Julian Casablancas.
Yeah, I read that too. I had no idea that band existed.
I had just recently heard of them because they come up as related artists on Spotify to these guys, like to Coastal
Well,
Kites.
makes sense.
Spotify clearly doesn't understand who Coastal Kites is because like they played. I was looking at their radio that they made for them, and like Primus is on it, and like
Primus.
some other kind of weird, goofy rock music, and I'm just like they don't understand what
Man.
Coastal Kites is.
And what is Coastal Kites, Lucas?
I mean, the what I would pair Coastal Kites most with is like Turkish music and like African like Afrobeat music. Like I would put them with like Antibalas and Fela Kuti and maybe like some reggae mixed in there because I feel like it's all just kind of the whole album has this like Afro Latin kind of vibe throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like you have the Afro that kind of Afro Latin like bass line, you know, not like the bass, but like just a little foundation of it, and then everything on top of it is just like, and we got a little bit of Asia, and we got a little bit of the Middle East, and we got a little bit of, you
Hmm.
know,
And
California.
it makes me wish I knew more about that side of music because I know next to nothing about it. Like this is an album that I
Right.
think Michael would absolutely adore.
I sent this to him. I don't think he's listened to it yet because he hasn't told me anything. Because I thought the same thing, man. I'm like he would fucking love this. And that's I'm just now starting to listen to more world music. Like I'll send you a couple playlists I found on Spotify that are like the modern versions of this type of world music,
Sure.
which is
Yeah,
what
go ahead.
Coastal Kites is. But yeah, it's really really cool. I'm
Uh,
digging a lot of it, man. And this kind of that's what I thought too. Like kind of bringing back the world music vibe. It's like a lot of these songs sound like something that Alchemist would sample, and he samples a lot of world music. So like I listen to some of these and I'm just like, that sounds like something Alchemist would take and put into a song, and it made me like it even more because I love Alchemist.
and
Uh,
uh, regardless of your experience with like world music and just foreign types of music at all, I think you would enjoy this album. Like you definitely don't need to get into that stuff. I think it's a pretty accessible album, honestly.
yeah, you know, I I wouldn't have agreed with you until I'd shown it to like you know Christina and a couple of my other friends that I just kind of put it on while we were doing something. And yeah, I was surprised at the reaction I got because I thought I was like, this is gonna be like really challenging for people who don't listen to even Latin music. You know, like if you're cool if you're down with Latin music and you can vibe to that, then that's almost like a really great introduction to this. You know, it's very similar rhythms and stuff, but for people who you know mostly listen to indie or mostly listen to rock music or whatever, like I wouldn't think that this would be as accessible to them, and it I was really surprised. Most of the time, people have dug this when I sent them a song here and there or whatever. So yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that too, man. Because not gonna lie, I was just like, I know you dig instrumental stuff, right? Because you is it said that you don't normally dig instrumental stuff, but you've been
No,
digging it more lately.
I normally don't like instrumental stuff at all
But
because
you've
it
been liking
just
it more lately.
Um, I don't know. I think instrumental stuff. Like I love Joe Satriani and Eric
Mm.
Johnson. And their stuff is usually instrumental. I think it's that I need to have something to focus on, something that I can focus on in the song. Like
Like
there's got to be
guitar.
some kind of leading melody. There's got to be some kind of progression. It can't just be a dull, airy kind of nothing is really happening or progressing type of instrumental song. Because I get lost very easily, and I kind of my eyes glaze over, and I kind of like look away and
Mm.
lose interest pretty quickly.
So like you wouldn't be into like house music as much as you're into
Not at all.
like progressive rock,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
there's that was one thing that I thought about this record that it gave me a little more confidence in suggesting it and thinking that you might like it too is because like it's another one of those records that we mentioned like Middle Eastern influence and Asia and Africa and all this stuff and the Caribbean. Like there's so many different elements going on. It's like it reminds me of a few of the records we've talked about in the last few episodes where it's like there are so many elements to the music that like it gives you there are so many little moments you can cling on to and like that make a song stand out for you, you know?
Yeah,
Even like just a small moment because they're trying so many different things that it's like there is almost something for everyone on each track. And then once you kind of cling on to that one thing, or you find that one or two things in a song that make you really like the song, it makes everything else better.
yeah, yeah. It's there's gonna be at least one song in here that you're gonna like. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get through the whole album and be like, yeah, that was all trash. Like I didn't like a single one of those melodies or tunes or bass lines.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna find something.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like if you like uh tight, really good drumming, that alone, like you might dig these songs. If you like
Yeah.
really good synth work, really good, dude. The synth on this album made
I
it for
mean,
me.
the musicianship is fantastic on this album, though it's not show offy at all.
Right. They're like it's like you said, they're tight, but
Yeah.
it's not like musical masturbation at all. Like they do find their little themes and their little moments that repeat like verses or choruses, even though it's instrumental, you know. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, whew, man, it keeps you going. Like the songs are a little long and they can feel repetitive because they just keep playing those same moments, over and over again. But it is kind of like that's where it brings back the Afrobeat influence for me because that's what Afrobeat is. It's a 15-minute long song that they're doing the same thing for like 4 or 5 minutes, and once you start thinking like, oh, this is starting to get a little old, they like flip it on you and they start playing something else, and it keeps you into the song, and it puts you in a sort of trance when you're listening to
Yeah.
it. You don't notice the repetitiveness.
Well, it seems the average length of the music on here is about like 3 to 3.5 minutes, which could could definitely be far too long for other instrumental groups.
Yeah,
Uh, and myself, I don't I usually don't want to listen to a 15-minute anything, much less like a 15-minute instrumental thing, because I'm not a dude who just like listens to the music and just vibes and is just like hanging out there, unless something else is happening that I'm focusing on.
right. Or maybe the setting too. Like maybe if you're hanging out by the river, it might be nice to just have like some quiet instrumental music playing.
I mean, yeah, yeah, as long as like we're talking or doing something.
Yeah, just two dudes hanging out with their shirts off.
but but yeah, if you like, no, yeah, if because it seems a lot of instrumental songs are longer, uh
Yeah,
which is
which is unfortunate.
I'm very glad that you brought this in. This is a short, like 35-minute album, I
Hmm.
believe.
Real easy to sit down,
Oh yeah,
jam through.
for
Yeah,
sure. And yeah, man, I dug it, and the more I listened to it, the more I dug it. I still
nice.
wouldn't say it's like I'll come back to it every once in a while.
Sure. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean it's a vibe, right?
yeah,
Like,
it's a
yeah,
vibe. If someone asked me to just like, hey man, we're just gonna like sit around and play billiards or something, and like just
billiards.
it put something on, man, then this would probably be the first album I put on because it's it's active enough
Right.
that it's not boring if you're focusing on it, but it's also in the background enough that you can focus on other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it might be lame, man, but there are just certain records that make me feel cool. Like, and this is one of them. Like, you drive around listening to this, you feel fucking cool, man. There's something the vibes on it just kind of it almost makes you feel like it's your own little hype songs, you know?
Hmm.
But yeah, I would definitely put this on while you're playing cribbage or
Cribbage, yeah,
yeah, polo. Like, this
for
is a
sure.
great
Yeah,
polo record.
horse polo,
Hmm.
water polo,
Cricket.
cricket, just any horse sports in general would
Yeah,
usually be pretty good, I
yeah. Call
guess.
them horts.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
horse.
horts. It's my favorite basketball game too.
Yeah.
I play horts. Yeah, it adds a letter. It's a little easier.
All right.
Does it even add a letter? I don't think it does. Um,
Joke
well,
with it.
dude, and another crazy thing before we jump into the choice nugs, and we go into the chicken nugget segment of the episode, like,
Yeah.
I can't believe these guys have like 400 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Is that really it?
Just, yeah, 400. Like, when they got suggested to me, that was what was interesting about the Spotify suggestions is, most of the time you would expect that they would suggest like really popular artists based off of other things that you've listened to. Like, they're gonna
Yeah.
feed you the things that have the most plays. Like, that's how your algorithm works, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't. A lot of the records that I got last year and a lot of these bands that I'd never heard of that I listened to last year had 400, 500, maybe even like less than that sometimes monthly listeners on their profile, and that was really surprising. Like, these guys deserve to have a lot more than 400 monthly listeners. Like, I hope people listen to them after, if anyone listens to this episode.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'm
these
excited to see what
guys.
they do.
Yeah, they released a EP in 2020, I believe.
I
But
think they
aside from
just
that,
I think they released 2 singles. I think that was it, right?
let me look. I mean,
Oh
it's
no, you're right.
on YouTube Music at least. They have this album released in 2018, and they have an EP called Golden Claw in 2020 with 4 songs on it, and that's all I got over here. There's a single in 2019 with 3 songs on it.
Yeah, so they have, outside of this record, they have 7 other songs, almost a whole another album.
It looks
Um,
like they've been keeping up pretty consistently.
that's what
We
got me
might
excited.
expect to see something this year.
Yeah, this record came out in 2018, and it was one of those. And I was worried that it was a one and done thing, and then I saw that they had released something in 2020, and so that got me excited, man. I need to check these other two out. I actually haven't listened to these, weirdly enough.
Well,
Yeah, what they used to have on here was Spotify. I don't know if they have it anymore, but Spotify used to have artist created playlists, where the artist would go onto their own Spotify page and like
right,
create a
yeah.
playlist. Like, we did that for Mortalis, right?
Hmm.
They had one, and it was a lot of random stuff, and I can't find it on Spotify anymore. Like, it
Hmm.
had like Stevie Wonder, but then it had like Turkish folk music that you would think Michael would show you, and a lot of you could tell from those songs how much they really are influenced by like world music.
Right.
Yeah. Well, on that note, man, um, what were your choice nugs, man? Because I had a pretty tough time narrowing it down to two.
Oh man. Uh yeah. I think yeah, it's each of these songs has its own flavor on it.
Yep.
But it's still hard for me to like remember how they sound just looking at the titles.
Hmm.
But I think Skull Diving for Diana, which is the second song, I think that's one of my choice nugs.
It's very dancey, man. I love it.
Yeah, and I just love the tone of the guitar and just the way he plays that little riff.
Yeah, it's all like kind of phasery.
Yeah, yeah, it's very. I could see this guitarist as being one of those dudes with a whole board of like 80 pedals,
For
you know,
sure.
that like takes up half the stage
For
whenever he
sure.
plays live. And the other nug I had is Ceremonia.
Ceremonia. Okay, so you liked the more dancey ones, huh?
Yeah, I guess I did. It's just this is definitely a more electronic focused song. It's got that bass line. The bass line was the main reason
Mm-hmm.
that I picked it. The dun, 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 bow, bow, dun, 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 dun. And like
Yeah.
whenever if you're playing a juicy line and you start like sliding the notes up and down, like you're gonna get my
Dude,
goat, man.
I know, right? Like that weird like he might be playing a fretless bass because he's just like boom, like
Yeah, maybe it's so smooth, and that's like that's why I like the that little bass line I made for that one song,
yeah,
7-Eleven. But
yeah.
you got that little slide in there. That this dude's just he knows he's got something sexy and he's rolling with it.
Yeah, man. The Ceremonia, that's like it made me think of like vaporwave stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like glitch wave almost at times too. Like they kind of got a little like it's a dirtier song.
The guitar has this. It's kind of doing these little background and
Yeah, the part that busts out are cool where the guitar's like and
yeah, and the
the
drums are very very electronic.
yeah, that really 80s electric drum kit snare that's like
Yeah.
very splashy. And I dig
Uh,
the I don't. There's something about which is the vaporwave thing. There's something that I don't really like a lot about the almost like the out of tune sounding synth, and
yeah.
they kind of whatever effect that they're putting on the synth and the guitars make it sound out of tune a little bit. What is that?
Uh, I mean they like it. It's less of a tuning thing and more of like a tape recording that's kind of gotten
That's what it's
corrupted.
doing. Yes, it's like
And so they
warped.
love that. They love the kind of
Yeah,
type of noise.
there's something I don't like about that.
I like it. I like it every once in a while, but I don't think I'd be able to listen to a whole album where every synth is like doing that.
Yeah, that's why this honestly Ceremonia was one of my least favorites and I still like
Really.
it. Yeah, I still like it. Like don't get me wrong because those parts where the guitar like like that with the way the drums are going, that's it's such a great rhythm. And
Mm.
I like the synth during that part too and the arpeggio part like towards the end is really fun. Um but those it's that slightly that tape warp or whatever that they put onto stuff like it's overused. It's like the double bass of metal music. It's overused in vaporwave and like glitch wave and stuff.
Right.
Like I prefer more the chill wave that doesn't really add that effect on it, but it's the same synth sounds.
Hmm.
It's just way more smooth and pleasing to the ear. It's not as like it almost makes me like feel like I have like seasickness when I hear this like like this
Wow.
weird it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of synth sounds.
The Arnold synth is what they call it.
That's what the synth sounds like.
So yeah, that in Skull Diving for Deanna or
Dude,
Diana.
Skull Diving has that intro fuzzy ass guitar,
Yeah.
and then the thing opens up like the drums start kicking in, all the little claps start going, and all the synth. It sounds like a Daft Punk song,
A little bit. I
right?
yeah. I,
Very
I it's
disco-y.
it's very boppy. It is disco-y. It's got that guitar riff that I love. It has that little part in the middle, I believe. where it kind of
Yeah.
like it gets brought down, and it's like you're skull diving. It's like you're getting deeper into the water, and you're trying to find some treasure or something, and you
I
know.
love the ping pongy delay on the synth, or that's what kind of across the board in all these songs, the guitar and the synth play the same thing together a lot, and I think it's such a cool sound. Like it like you have like the pluckiness of the guitar strings, but you have that like weird hit and attack of like a synthesizer doing like a quick like bark bark type of
Right.
thing. That's like on this song that during that the verse like a boom bing ba-doom boom bing ba-doom boom bing ba-doom, like that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has like this like really good ping pongy like really quick delay after each hit that just kind of
Right.
adds so much to it, man.
It adds a lot of texture.
Texture, exactly, yes. And yeah, there was something very like Grand Theft Auto Vice City about this
Really.
song. Yeah, it made me think of like a 70s, 80s like nightclub with like a lot of cocaine.
I've never played that one, so I'll have to take your word for
Oh,
it.
oh man, that's my favorite one. You never played Vice City?
The only GTA I've played is 5, and it's not. I definitely didn't even play it. I just rode around the city, hitting people.
Vice City is my favorite. It's set in 1980s like Miami. It's fucking fantastic, and that's what this song makes me think of Miami. Like this sounds like a Miami 80s nightclub. Cocaine, shoulder pads, white suits, fucking rolled up sleeves, lots of like 5 o'clock shadows. You know, ladies with big fucking moosed up hair, and just cocaine, just
Just
powdered,
flying off the walls.
just cocaine powdered donuts being served in every corner.
Hot and fresh.
Great guitar work on this song too, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All the little plucky staccato stuff he's doing, just like, and those drums, man, it's so disco.
So what were your two Nar Nugs, sir?
Dude, yeah, like I had a hard time picking those, but mine were the more you had the more upbeat, dancey vibe going for you. Mine were the more subdued, not slow, but more mid tempo, like more so that you can just bob your head to, like, and just vibe out. Like this is a great high record, really great high record, great drug record. There's so much going on, and it's just so like with over the ear headphones, it is just so fucking like pleasing. It's all ear candy for 35 fucking minutes. So the ultimate ear candy song for me was Savalin Samurai.
Dang, yeah.
That
Uh,
was just pure ear candy, that entire track.
I had a feeling you would like that one, man.
Well, it has a beach vibe, right? It's like very reggae-y. I mean, literally, there's synth going "Chu-chicka, chu-chicka, chu-chicka, chu-chicka," like it's all
Yeah,
reggae.
yeah,
And then you have, I don't know if it's a guitar or a synth, I don't know which one, the doing the
yeah. I mean, it could very well be both, cause well, I'm sure it's a guitar pedal. It's like da 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 da, and they have this little weird discordant, but not like it's this cool like you
Yeah,
know.
so I think I bet it is a guitar pedal that you're supposed to play one note at a time, and he plays two on that part, right? And it made kind
Yeah.
of this like the pedal didn't know what to do. So it does create this like weird like sound. Oh, it's so great. And then you have that electro bass thing, the like
Uh huh.
really big, like open, like synth hits really hard right there, like these big chords.
Yeah.
And the whole just the drums the whole time just doing this really simple, almost like modern, the white boy modern reggae that's very like hip hop influenced, like Slightly Stupid or Revolution or any of those types of bands, that it's just the drums are just like really simple, just straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a really good stony vibe, man. It's but it's so electro. Like, and you have that Asian thing going on, you have the electro stuff going on, and it's the synth breaks and like the way that it opens up. The guitar work is really really minimal. Um, because I can't tell what's a guitar and what's a synth, so I'm just gonna assume most of it's synth and say the guitar work is just like very simple and just filling in space basically is what he's doing with the guitar. Um, so Savalin Samurai, man, that's such a great fucking song. And my other one surprised me, to be honest, because I had a hard time picking between the opener track Savalin Forest
Mm,
and Pure Gold.
pure
So
gold.
I went with Savalin Forest as my other choice nug, but I would say that Pure Gold is like my real other choice nug. You know,
What won Savalin over this one in the end?
I think it's because Savalin is such a great opener. Savalin Forest, and
I mean,
it
it is by far the longest song on the album at
yeah,
6 minutes, I believe,
but it's extremely
6.5.
Afrobeat. Yeah, 6.5 minutes. It's extremely Afrobeat, and the length makes it even more Afrobeat. And the drums are just so choice. The bass is so fucking choice. The guitar work is great. It's funky. It's like tribal. It's got like little Middle Eastern melodies
It
mixed
it's
in
got
there.
as we said earlier, it's got a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Like it's they even have like some like Central American, almost like Mexican, like banda type stuff going on in there, but like with everything with like synth playing over it, which is like you don't hear, you know? And then you have this like I love that
Yeah,
like little synth
yeah.
part that just kind of adds this like weird 80s like someone driving down the highway like vibe to me. Yeah, that and the drums, man. The drums like really won me over. Like if I was a dancing man, I would be dancing to this,
If
you
only
know?
that the incident of '86.
Yeah, when I was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only that didn't happen. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. I had three choice nugs because pure gold is like I feel like Savalin Forest is like the prettiest one, and I feel like Savalin Samurai is like the coolest one. Like if we're talking like beauty pageant terms, I've been watching a lot of RuPaul
Okay.
Drag Race lately,
All right.
so I feel like Savalin Forest is like, oh man, who's the girl in the second season that reminded me of Britney Spears a lot? Well, basically, Savalin Forest is the pretty one.
Okay.
Savalin Samurai is like the cool one that just like
Hmm.
fucking dresses super cool, and then Pure Gold is like Miss Congeniality, like the one that like I love the personality because Pure Gold is like very hip hop,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got those like MIDI trumpets
which
that
I love.
immediately give it a type of hip hop feel with that drum beat. Uh, but that being said, it does things that you would never hear in an actual like hip hop song.
Mostly that bass. I feel like you wouldn't hear that in a bass, like maybe in like a Wyclef Jean song or something with that acoustic guitar, but that
Mm.
that bass is like really makes it takes it away out of like going full hip hop. But that trumpet part, man,
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
like
Yeah.
it
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 seems
reminds me.
immediately iconic.
Yeah, right. Like, how is that not going to be sampled into a hip hop track? Like that is so. It reminds me of the was it Jason Derulo that had that trumpet song?
Yeah, that was Jason.
I loved that song, and
Really?
I loved that song.
Man,
I
that
loved
song
Drake on it,
blows.
dude.
I love Jason. I love Mr. Derulo as much as the next guy, but whoop.
You don't like that song?
No, it's annoying.
Well,
As
that's
a
a goddamn
fauna
shame.
below, and that trumpet saying out. Whoop.
Is it? Am I thinking of trumpets, or am I thinking of what's the one that was Drake that had like trumpets in the beginning?
Um, are you thinking of uh
Wasn't it called Trumpets with Drake?
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, I gotta look it up now because that's the one I'm talking about.
Let me
Trophies,
Trophies
trophies.
by
It
Drake.
reminds, yeah, Trophies by Drake. Listen to that. real quick.
It's not laugh now, cry later.
No, it's trophies, like I said.
I don't believe you, but okay. Let me go ahead and take a real quick listen here.
It pure gold just kind of reminded me of that trumpet line.
It's a Young Money song featuring Drake.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a huge fan of like trumpets in rap and hip hop, man.
Oh man, like when Big Boy did like was it bow tie? Some bow tie and like
Suit and tie?
I think it
No,
was
wait, that was a whole different thing. Ignore
yeah,
that.
I think it was called bow tie, but yeah, Outkast uses a lot of trumpets. I feel like any hip hop band that uses a lot of jazz
Oh
samples.
yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Like a Tribe Called Quest and Farside.
Madlib
Madlib, yeah.
loves doing. I mean, he loves the jazz stuff. There's a song called like "Let Me Clear My Throat" by DJ Cool that
I
has
gotta check that out.
is like
Oh, that's a good one.
it's a it's so good. And there's there's one more that I'm thinking of. I think it's a Kanye song actually.
Yeah, he used a bunch. Touch the
Um,
Sky, maybe.
Touch the
Because
Sky.
like Curtis, I mean, I'm such a sucker for horns, man. Like
I mean,
Curtis
yeah.
Mayfield. Like one of the reasons I love him is because of horns, and Touch the Sky samples a Curtis Mayfield song. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
dude.
cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a sucker for trumpet and for saxophone and all that stuff. And yeah, pure gold. That it's just so, and it's like so much reverb. They like made it so fucking wet that it. I love it. It's low key my other choice nug. It's like it's weird because it's like the musician in me loves Savalin Forest, but the viber
The
in me,
the vibe,
the vibe queen in me
the
loves pure
vibrator
gold.
in you.
The vibrator in me that's currently in me
Yeah.
goes crazy when I play pure
And
gold.
by the way, if you could turn that off, that's gonna get in the recording.
I don't care. I feel great, and I need something to help me get through this.
You got it. This has been such a sludge.
Yeah, it's
Got to get something to distract me.
it's been kind of painful. But what would you rate this record?
Well, um, the obviously as it always goes, the more I listened to it, the more I enjoyed it. At
Which
first,
is great, man. That makes me so happy to hear.
well, that's just what this podcast is for, man. That's what this whole thing's about.
Well, lately the last few episodes we've disagreed a little bit, and so it's just I don't know. It gets me excited because it's one that I was worried about that I'll see what you rate it, but
I mean, yeah, at first I definitely was about to write it off as like, all right,
I
okay,
know,
I'm like, whatever. But
I know.
the more I got familiar with the songs,
You're
and
like fucking Lucas.
fucking Lucas again, just trying to test my fucking patience. But no, it was a fantastic album. It helps that it's so short. Honestly, if it were an
Hmm.
hour, there's no way I would have enjoyed it. Uh, but it was a nice, clean 35 minutes. None of the songs went too long.
Hmm.
Some could even be longer, but
Agreed.
that's a pretty good problem to have.
It's a sign of a good song too. If it leaves you wanting more, even though it's like 3-4 minutes long.
Yeah. Uh, that being said, I probably like I don't think I'll be adding any of these to like a playlist or anything, but I'll come back to the album. Uh, it's not it's not it's a fantastic album, but it's not something that you look back and you're like, oh man, that was an experience
Hmm.
uh, to me. And so it's gonna be it's probably gonna be a little lower than you think. It's gonna be a 7.6 for me.
That's way higher than I thought you were gonna do.
Oh really?
I, like probably when I first suggested the record, I was just like, this is gonna be a good four or fiver. Dude, that's great.
I mean,
7.6.
it
I
might also help that we've been listening to this album for like 3 or 4 weeks.
seriously. But I thought that was going to be at his detriment, to be honest, because it is it's not exactly what I would call taxing, like mentally when you're listening to it, but there is a lot going on.
Yeah.
So if you don't like all the stuff that's going on, having to listen to it that many times and having so much time to listen to it that you probably went. How many times did you listen to this?
Well, I mean, God, man. Probably 7 or 8 times.
Holy shit! See what I
It
mean?
it
Like,
it wasn't even something where I was like, oh, I gotta listen to it again. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be driving to Austin. I might as well put the album on. But that spanning over like 4 weeks or however long it took us to record our last episode.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. I'm like, you might be sitting with it for too long you start to hate it. So
Yeah.
I was really worried about that.
Well, what are you rating it, my big
Well,
bad boy of
I am
comedy?
just pleased as shit that you enjoyed it. Dude, last year I rated this something like a 9 point something. And going back into it, it's like the because all those daily album reviews were like first impressions, right? I literally listened to the album
You
once, and
listened
I
to it
was
one time,
listened
and
to
that
it
was about
once,
it.
and most of the time I was writing the review while I was listening to it. So like,
Yes, you gave this a. Well, why don't you give your rating first, and then I'll tell you what you rated it for last
okay,
year.
so I have realized that like going back to a lot of the records I listened to last year, some I liked more than I when I first heard it, and some I liked less, and again it was because like it was all first impressions, and like I would even go back and read some of my album reviews and realize like halfway through the review I started liking it. And then so like the first half, like you would think I fucking hated it, and then the second half would be positive stuff, and then I'd give it like a 7 point something. And I was like, this is gonna be kind of confusing, but it really was just stream of consciousness, all first impression stuff, like song by song almost. So this one really blew me away. Like it was so different than the any of the other stuff I had been listening to up until that point,
Right. Yeah.
and I think it probably fell within a time frame that like I'd heard stuff that I didn't really dig for like maybe a week or two at that point. So this was just like so awesome. And going back to it, I love it just as much. If not, I might have an even deeper appreciation for it because I've listened to it so many more times now that I pick up on so many more on new things.
Yeah.
Um, but I would probably give it like a 9.0. So
A
like
9.0.
yeah, I don't think I probably came in a little lower than I did the first time, but it's still such a solid album, dude. I'm still gonna give it a 9.
Well, it's interesting. Like, obviously, when you were reviewing the albums, you weren't really like comparing the scores to other stuff. Like you were
Right.
doing an album every day. You were just kind of whatever you felt at the time. But
Hmm.
Journey to Savalin Forest by Coastal Kites was rated by you a 9.6 at the time, being the highest rated album you would ever listen to.
That came in. That was my highest rating of the whole year, I guess.
Yeah, and it was
Holy
only
shit,
ever tied by Amor Prohibido by Selena with a 9.6 in
oh
2021.
dude, yeah, holy shit, that's a great record. Wow, no shit, yeah, I didn't realize that I'd rated this the highest out of
Yeah,
any album I heard last year, dude. I mean, I kind of stick by it. Going back to it,
really.
I there was a slight concern, like deep down that it wasn't going to be as good as I remembered because I hadn't listened to it since that one time last year, and dude, it still holds up. There's still so many moments, like I said, like there's just so many small moments almost within each song that just make me. I love those little tiny decisions, those little melodies or whatever so much that it makes me like the whole song. And yeah, I love this album. 9.0, solid, no
All
regrets.
right.
Joke landed.
Joke landed.
Yeah, dude.
Well, thank you all for listening to this episode of the podcast. Uh, we, I mean, it's been a rough ride.
It has. The
As
last month has been tough.
anyone who's paying attention will definitely notice that our uploads have been more sparse. I'm getting a computer soon. Whenever that happens, Lucas will be settled down
Yeah.
surely into where he is, and we're gonna get right back on the grind. Probably gonna do a couple multiple episode weeks to catch
Yep.
back up. So just thank you all for sticking with us through this. Thank you for listening. We're on Instagram at EBPcast, John Luke Guitard, and Brett Handerhan.
With like 5 A's or something.
Yeah, like 3 T's.
Okay.
You little drama queen.
I'm just a scamp.
You're just a little scamp. You're just a little hooligan, is what you are.
I love drama.
That's the thing about you. You're always spilling the tea, Lucas.
Yeah, I made tea just for this.
We're on YouTube. We're anywhere podcasts are found.
Yeah, look us up, Dick.
Look us up. Comment on our thing. You don't even have to comment about the episode. Just tell us how your day is gone.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. If you like any of the genres or ethnicities that we mentioned on this review, check out this record. I think there literally is something for everyone on this. Even hip hop heads, man. I think you'd dig it.
Yeah. What would you rate this episode, Lucas?
Man, I missed this and you so much this month. So I'm going to give this a 9.0.
9.0,
I had so much fun doing this.
I was going to give it, I'm giving it a little lower. I'm giving it an 8.5 because I don't have a camera. I'm dying in this closet. I literally have only my underwear on at the moment, and my chip is toothed. Or rather, my tooth is chipped. They chipped my tooth.
I was like, man, like the whole time you were just talking, I was like, this is getting sexier and sexier as he goes. And then you said
and then
toothed.
I'm going to finish you off, right at the end.
Yeah, you got me with that.
I mean, recording with you, Lucas, it's always, I always look forward to it.
Ditto.
And so we're not quite sure what album we're doing next.
It's your choice. You don't have one lined up?
No, man. I didn't know if we were even going to be able to record today. It's just been a mess. I mean, like 3 minutes after we stop recording, I'll probably figure it out. But
gotcha. Well, all right, man. Well, if you need me to suggest one on the fly, I have one lined up.
Nope, it's my turn.
All right, well then hurry up.
All right, well, thank you guys. Hope to see y'all here next episode. Bye.
Thanks, buddies. Bye. And a 3 and a 2. Oh wait, Brett. Well, Brett finished recording, but I haven't. This was good. Lucas, this was good. Hey, Lucas, this was good. This was really good, Lucas. Bye, buddies. And a 3 and a 2 and a 1.